I hope every one of you has a trusted friend or a family member that although you may not see them all that frequently, you know that they're always going to show up on the scene in just the right way at just the right time in those moments when you need their comforting presence the most. I don't know that that was ever by design in terms of Unity on the Bay's perspective, but certainly in terms of the universe, there has been a woman who has been serving with us and loving us for many years, and she always seems to show up in just the right way at just the right time, and I believe you're about to discover with me that she also has exactly the right message for whatever it is that you may be walking through. Please join me one more time in welcoming back to Unity on the Bay the incredible, the remarkable, the beautiful Martha Creek.
Okay, world. Yes, you're the world. You're also the light of the world. Oh, is that heavy? What happens when you hear a message like that? You are the light of the world? Oh, are you kidding? So don't touch your face. Just, oh, what's the implication here? So think about this. So go back to any scripture, mantra, 12-step, any source of comfort that you've ever had in your life. Maybe as a little kid you heard something from a parent or a grandparent or an auntie or a minister, a Sunday school teacher that was truth. And you knew it was the truth. You knew it from the head to the toe and all between. You resonated. You knew that's the truth. What was it for you? The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He leadeth me by scary things. Don't pitch a tent. Keep moving. So think about this, how we're powerless, so powerless in a time like this to certain things. Powerless to change certain things, and absolutely powerful and empowered to change certain things. Particularly this one. A time to use this as a spiritual breakthrough. The opposite of a spiritual bypass. A spiritual breakthrough that says, hey, what do I actually believe? What am I actually convicted in? What is the truth of my being, the truth of my knowing? I heard this morning in the opening prayer here in this ministry, the offspring, God's offspring. You. So that carries with it great glory, grace, mercy, potential, infinite, eternal potential. And for me, and this goes back to when I was a little girl, a great sense of responsibility to say then, okay, that I'm here in a divine appointment, in a divine assignment, and I then will go where I am led. I will go where I'm appointed. I will go where I am directed. And I stand, like Reverend Chris said, in awe of how I'm called, where I'm called, and especially when. And I know that is also true for you. And whether you, as Mama would say, whether you like it or not, where you are is where you've been called. And the way you're serving now, and a deep, deep bow to you in all the ways that you're serving now. The ways you're serving yourself, hopefully, prayerfully, and serving your relationships, your families, your extended families, the way you've served colleagues, organizations, your profession, the way you're serving cosmos, the way you're serving a cosmic cause, the way you're serving the God of your knowing, the creator of your knowing. All of this in service to bringing heaven to earth. To create a world, as Unity says, to create a world that works for all. So then it's like, whoa, did we really mean that? A vision to create a world that works for all. To say, this is what I value. This is where I will put my attention. This is what I will do. And then how to do that with this allure of oh no, and ain't it awful, and the tendency to go back in there. So just driving here this morning, I had a vision from the teaching from decades ago, but so concreted in my being and in my mind of imagining yourself, and I ask you to do that now. So imagine yourself as a cork. That's the tendencies of a cork. Then imagine you're in water, the cork is in water, and how easily it floats. That is its nature. So nobody's in there helping it float. Nobody's in there coaching it on how to float. That you have that innate ability to float. And then if we're not careful, we start heaping things on. Ain't it awful? Ain't it awful? What if this shouldn't be happening? This is a problem. And then what happens to the cork? What happens to you? Underwater we go, overwhelmed, not able to function, not in touch with our own divine nature. So it's so important, critical even, vital, right here and right now, to unload any of that can be unloaded. Anything that you can say that is too heavy to carry, that is outside of my nature, that is what I am powerless over, that is what I cannot change today. So then to awaken to that, admit that, and then to set that aside one way or the other. An actual purification from that says, today I must, right now, not later even, but right now, whatever that is, I'm going to consciously and purposefully, intentionally set that aside so that I can go back in alignment with the truth of my being that can have a little, and maybe a lot easier time at navigating these very, very challenging winds. And that I am absolutely appointed to this time. You're appointed to this time. You're empowered to this time. And I'm certain you've heard it many times in the last 3 weeks. You've been in training for this. You're equipped for this, and it will further equip us. I also had a thought this morning, like how many times have we maybe thought about or invoked or even prayed for a quantum leap in consciousness? A quantum leap. And we're the ones. We're the ones that can quantumly leap and quantumly create and hold a space for a quantum leap in consciousness. And a quantum leap in a new earth, a new world, and a new world order, and a new way of being in the world. So get a sense of the aspect of you as I walked into this sanctuary today, and just bow to the people in service here. And yes, let's agree that they are essential, and that you have your own essential place. This sanctuary here is filled with photographs and pictures of female quadriplegics, paraplegics, amputees, and their story and how they integrated that, how they integrated their assignment, and how they drew on a deep resilience and a deep grit that was required for them to navigate their assignments and their way of being in the world. So as I look at these photographs, I'm so touched again this morning to think, as much as this mind would want to say, ain't it awful, ain't it awful, ain't it awful, to come back to the absolute certainty and the reality of, we're doing well here. And we hold a great deal of power through divine grace and the mercy of Creator to say, if we continue to do our part. So we're part then of a solution here. So get a sense of the part of you that's always wanting to be a part of a solution, that's wanting to be part of a co-creation, part of a team, part of a humanity, part of a species that says, yes, yes, I want to be a contributor to that. Yes, I want to create in that way. Yes, I want to be innovative in that way. I want to be the resource for those coming after us that will look back on this time in history and see how a committed group of people, a devoted group of people made the difference, made a great big difference. And to avoid the allure that would want now, at this vital time that we're in, to start to cut corners, or maybe that one time wouldn't matter, or like, oh, I don't really have to wash my hands. It's like, yes, you do. And it's not just for you. Wash your hands for you, and wash your hands for the you of humanity, and for a quantum leap in what's possible in consciousness as we stay the course here. So I accept my powerless in some things, and I activate and resurrect my power in some things. I'm about changing what I can, allowing for things I can't, accepting the things I can't, and very intentional in making the difference and being a part of the difference making. So I absolutely know, if you're hearing this message, that you are the called ones. If anyone else could do it, they'd be here and listening too. So it is us. We are the ones. Maybe you've heard that before. We're the ones we've been waiting for. We're here now to do what we came here to do. The time is now. And I'd love you to pause and get a sense of what is true for you. What is the truth of you? What phrase or scripture or mantra or step? Nothing real can be threatened. Our Father, Mother, our God, which art in heaven, holy, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. What is it for you? So take a big, deep breath and be aware of all the allure and all the tendency for ain't it awful, ain't it awful, ain't it awful. And even with that there, connect deeply with an aspect of you that knows the truth. Beyond the hearing of the truth, a faith deeper than what can be seen, a will that's radical, an understanding that I can't understand all things, and that even though I can't understand them, I will use all the power in me to imagine the new world, to imagine innovatively what's possible in a quantum leap here, to love in ways that I've only read about, and to be loved, to meet unconditional love of what created you and what created me, and to eliminate, to set aside, to unhinge from, to set loose and let loose anything that's going to drag me down, that's going to weigh me down, so that I can come back into an alignment with my own divine nature. That is what is true. One power and one presence. One power and one presence that is the creator of all that is. That I am one with that power. I am one with that power. I pray that way. I think that way. And I act from that way. I live from that. And in doing so, then, there's a potential here, an infinite potential. It's assured long before we pause today to think about it or to remember it. The assuredness of conscious evolution, of expansion, and a new earth, heaven on earth, and the potential that we hold as co-creators with that. So take a minute and see if you can spend, we'll give you 15 seconds to just have a big old tantrum. Be mad, be frustrated, be upset. I don't believe it. I don't like it. I don't want it. This shouldn't be happening. I don't need this to happen. I don't want to ever experience this again. Just rant for 15 seconds. On your mark, get set, go. Your time is almost up. Okay, time. Big deep breath. Now, here's our chance to resurrect. So for every 15 seconds we do of ranting, of ain't it awfuling, then a minute of praise. A minute of what I'm grateful for. What are you grateful for? Even in this challenging time, what can you be grateful for? A minute of what's working well. So I see some posts that says, I'm stuck at home. I'm isolated at home. And then the balance of that is, I'm safe at home. And ain't it awful? What can I find that's working well today? So I don't have to like it a bit. I don't have to love it a bit. I also don't have to be overwhelmed by it. And if and when you find yourself in overwhelm, definitely reach out. So much support here in this ministry for you. You do not have to do it alone. These are the things I know to be true. We do not have to do this alone. Some parts we'll have to do alone. Most things we won't have to do alone. You cannot do it wrong when you're in integrity with yourself and the creator of you. So from that place, that integrity of self, that integrity of your soul, that integrity of your spirit, You cannot do it wrong. So you cannot be responsible then for your own death or for the deaths of others when in integrity of your own calling, when in alignment, when atoned. You cannot do it wrong. And it'll take longer than you like. You're welcome. The part we don't like. I'm in such a hurry. I'm in such a hurry. This is taking too long, taking too long. Regardless of how long it takes, it's going to take longer than we like. So, what can we do about that? I cannot change or control how long it takes. I can contribute, however, to how long it takes. By following these basic rules that's been set forth, and the new mantra and hopefully the takeaway to follow the simple directions. Follow the simple directions. And as easy as it sounds, I have more than a glimpse of how easy it isn't, simply because we're not practiced in following the simple directions, because they don't apply to me. Or you ain't the boss of me. Maybe you can relate. If not, what's your message that would absolutely cause you to leave sane, sensible action, clear directions on how to move through this, clear directions on how to contribute to easing this, clear directions on how to be a contributor to this? What would cause you, again, as Mama would say, to cut our nose off to spite our face? So let the wisdom of your ancestors, let the wisdom of your lineage, let the wisdom of your teachings, whatever you drew on in the past, whatever practices you have now, be it meditation, then dial up your ways to meditate. Open eye meditations, washing dishes meditations. Lord, help me not to kick them in the shin meditations. Give me understanding. I'm just a hair away from just screaming out loud. Like, then find a way to scream. Put your head in a pillow. Get in your car by yourself, of course, and scream your head off. Do whatever you got to do to move some of this energy out. To give yourself these allotted little times of rant, maybe a daily rant. Fill then with 15 seconds of ranting, at least an hour of praise. An hour of resurrecting, an hour of creation, an hour of potential, and living in a field of pure potential. So what will you unload today? What will you take off of you? What skin will you shed? What fear can you rise above? What worry can you accept? What worry can you allow and give space to? It says worry's part of it. So I have worry, and worry doesn't have me. So what is it? What are you willing to do right here and right now for your own quantum leap? What are you willing to do for your own quantum resurrection from a 2,000-year-old archaic tantrum? A regressive, animalistic, all for self kind of mind. An all for self kind of thinking to a greater self, and that whatever I do today that contributes to the goodness of me, whatever I do today that creates a care for me, for you, it also then cares for humanity. and then the greater humanity. And then we then are active in, purposeful in, the potential to be a part of this and to be a part of history making, one way or the other, making history. So what is true for you? What is a thing or two that you can do today from where you are? With your situation exactly like it is, circumstances exactly like they are. What will you be today? What will you do today? And the allure to restrict and constrict and get small and get pulled under there and feeling overwhelmed again, or giving more attention and power to atonement, alignment, maybe just floating along a little bit today, a day of Sabbath perhaps, that says then that is where I hold an intention, that's where I hold a vibration, that's where I hold for myself and for our species, for our time here, that I hold a space holder, a midwife, a contributor, a generator of what is being born here. So, big deep breath. And I pray and know in some way this message has brought a comfort to you. I also pray and know that it's challenged you in some way. And I hope so, as we continue to meet those challenges. And as we continue to use whatever's happening, ever how it appears, for spiritual breakthrough, for emotional breakthrough, for physical breakthroughs, for innovation, for resourcefulness, for thoughtfulness. And please, please, please keep gathering all the new proof for the nature of humanity and of humanity returning to its true nature. Be it the way that people are waving, making eye contact, smiling, giving hugs in new way. So inviting you now to give you a hug. Big old hug. Big, purposeful, intentional hug. The hug you've been missing. To give it to yourself now. This is proven scientifically to release these chemicals, the serotonin, whatever it is that makes us feel good. Then to give that to you. And then imagine when we're on the other side of this, what it's going to feel like to go back in to the hugging and to being hugged, to being the hugger, and to hugging in ways that are new to us, with presence, with presence of what is true about us and what is true about divinity. So 100% in our wholeness of humanity and 100% in wholeness of our divinity. And then hugging as we can and finding creative, innovative ways to hug and to be hugged. And I know that whenever you get back into your centers, to your communities, to your office places, to those families that you couldn't bear, you'll be different with those families. You'll be different in your community. Just yesterday, someone said, I've been going to church there for years. And now it's like, it's shifted into my church. It's shifted into my ministry, my home church. So we're finding new places in this. So then what is it when we're on the other side of this? When COVID-19 is history, when we're on the other side of this, imagine being on the other side of it. What is it you look most forward to? Those are the things that matter. Those are the things that have value. Those are your core values. as Reverend Chris spoke about. So whatever matters to you, you'll look forward to, and I encourage you to spend some time looking forward to on the other side of this. What can you look forward to? I love you. I cannot help it. I send you my heartfelt best. If there's any way I can ever support you, get me word. God bless you, your families, all that you're doing and being in this time, and dial up your luminosity on purpose. Resurrect on purpose. Blessings and love.